This is awesome.
Oh, Clark, hey. Good to see you among the living, man. Check it out. It's the latest talent mix.
Thanks, Pete.
Good to see you all among the living. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Talent Mix. This is a Smallville recap podcast it's a Smallville recap podcast. I'm Brian. Here, as always, my pal, Zach. Zach, how many times do you think you could get possessed by an evil ancient witch before you'd tell me about it?
I feel like you would know without me telling you pretty quick.
You think so? Okay.
Is the question like how many times could I Clark gaslight you about it? Because that's different.
I think so. How long do you think you could get away with it? Just
right.
As a bit, as a goof.
Do I want to get away with it?
I think so. I think for the premise of this bit, yeah.
Yeah, I think I could. I think 2 times I could go.
Okay.
Without you knowing. I could just say that, I wasn't taking my medicine or something.
Well, Zach, we're going to find out because I found this ancient book of Eve. No.
You ordered it off of eBay like Lana did? That has the same symbol as my tramp stamp, Brian.
Oh, Zach, another week down. Would you watch anything this week?
It's tramps. We're not allowed to say tramp stamp anymore, probably, right?
I will say I do have like a visceral, like, ugh, every time you say it.
Yeah, so I have a nostalgia.
No, I mean, anytime anyone were to say it, yeah. But that's what we called them in the 2000s.
Right, yeah, I guess lower back tattoo is the what I should be saying.
Now we just call it a bad place for a tattoo.
I've seen some lovely lower back tattoos. Okay, what was the question?
I don't remember. What'd you watch this week?
I watched a few things. I watched the 1978 version of Invasion of the Body Snatchers.
Ooh, what'd you think of that?
It was really good. Really good.
That's the Donald Sutherland one, correct?
Yeah.
The famous
Yeah. I had seen it many moon ago and liked it, and I think I liked it more this time. But it's a good 70s paranoid.
Yeah,
you really feel the walls closing in on you.
I recently read the book. I just picked it up. I saw it at the library, and I was like, sure. And it was pretty short. I think it's only like 100-something pages. Quite liked it. Quite enjoyable.
Sweet. I mean,
I don't know how accurate that movie is. I haven't actually seen the movie.
Well, I've seen the original movie too, which is, I think, probably closer to the book, I would imagine.
Sure.
But that was even longer. That was when I was a kid. But
sure.
Highly recommend. And then I saw Air with Matt Damon and Ben Affleck, and
yes,
really good.
I'm so looking forward to it.
Yeah, it's not revolutionary, and it is kind of about Nike and marketing and so if that kind of stuff makes you kind of squeamish, that's totally understandable. But it's just a movie, man. It's right down the middle.
A mid-budget movie for adults? Hold me.
Seriously, and a well-done one. Just a really well done.
I think it did okay at the box office too.
I wouldn't cut anything out either.
Great.
Just
great. This is an Affleck joint, right?
Yep.
Written, directed.
Mm.
I'd say he's
directed. Someone else wrote the screenplay. I'm sure they did work on it, but
sure. He's mostly, I think he had one out in 2020 that like nobody liked. I think it got kind of lost in the fray. But other than that, he's mostly hit for me.
As far as director?
Yeah.
The one in 2020, he didn't direct. He was just in it.
I see. I must have misunderstood.
He's only had one that didn't get well received, and it's the only one I haven't seen, which is the gangster one.
That's the one I didn't see.
Live by Night or something like that.
That's it. That's what I was thinking of. That might not have been 2020.
That was a few years before. I think that was like 2015 or something. But
got it. I don't remember it coming out.
Yeah. Everything else, Gone Baby Gone is solid. The Town is solid. Argo, obviously, solid.
A lot of fun. Yeah.
But I enjoyed Air quite a bit. And And then I saw, have you heard of How to Blow Up a Pipeline?
It sounds vaguely familiar, but I saw you posted about it on Letterboxd.
Yeah, it was really good. Really good.
What's the gist of that?
What's that? The gist
What's the gist of that?
It's a bunch of like 20-something environmentalists decide they want to blow up a pipeline. And it's really like almost like procedural, like heist movie with no fat about these people trying to blow up a pipeline. And it's just a really well-made thriller, man.
Wow.
I mean, it has its moments of, I wouldn't say preachiness, but it's, it's thematic stuff in there, but it's first and foremost a thriller, I would say.
Wow.
And,
wow.
Highly recommend.
Okay. Excited. Is that streaming anywhere?
No, it's in the theaters. I mean, I think it's only in theaters.
Wow. That's new. Okay. I thought that was older. Huh.
Oh, no. It just,
fuck me.
Yeah. I think it just went wide, but it would be in New York. It would be playing anyway, but.
Yeah, holy shit. Okay. I wonder what I was thinking of then that I thought I'd heard of. Well, I'll definitely check that out.
It premiered at some festivals like a year ago or something. So
okay, maybe.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Anything else this week?
I watched. It wasn't on Tubi, but it might as well have been. I watched The Faculty.
What was it?
1999.
What was it? Sorry.
The Faculty.
Oh yeah, of course. It's a movie I've never seen, but I distinctly remember I could tell you where it was in my local Blockbuster.
Right. It was a sort of post-Scream. Kevin Williamson, who wrote Scream, wrote the script. Robert Rodriguez directed it. It was all the hot 20-something. Josh Hartnett, early role. Elijah Wood is in it. What's the Jordana Brewster? It's not good, but it is so of its time. It was enjoyable to watch.
I'm willing to bet, and like I said, I've never seen. Had you seen it before?
Yeah, I saw it on Christmas Day, which I think is when it came out.
Wow.
And I'd probably seen it.
What a strange release date for The Faculty.
Scream came out in December.
Huh?
Isn't
I
that
did
weird?
know that, but I forget. Yeah, that is weird. Fun.
It's basically Invasion of the Body Snatchers in a high school, so that's why I watched it.
Right. Oh, got it.
Yeah, I would say watch it, but it's not good.
I think I would enjoy it. I fully expect I would enjoy it.
Jon Stewart plays a major role in it.
Hell yeah. Emily and I are big fans of the Spy Kids franchise. So, we are primed to enjoy anything Robert Rodriguez
I've never
does.
seen any of those. Didn't they reboot it or remake it? Something?
I can only speak for Spy Kids 1 and 2. Which
not even Spy Kids 3D?
No, I don't think we made it to Spy Kids 3D. But Spy Kids 1 and 2 are, don't get me wrong, they are for kids, but like genuinely just good, fun, for kids entertainment. Now, granted, I saw them extremely stoned.
That's the recommended way to watch it as an adult.
I think that's who if you want a guaranteed home run, little weed, little Spy Kids. Emily has a t-shirt that it says Spy Kids on the front, and the back is just Roger Ebert's full review of Spy Kids.
It's positive, right?
Yes, extremely.
Great.
Good movie. Highly recommend.
What'd you watch?
Let's see. Nothing too crazy this week. Yesterday, I watched the film 80 for Brady. Zach has stepped away from his computer for a moment, which means I have the floor to talk about 80 for Brady for as long as I want. This, of course, is the movie about 4 old ladies who they love Tom Brady. They love the footballman Thomas Quarterback Brady. I am vamping now because Zach is just fully gone. So I'm just talking to you, the people, about 80. Once again, 80 for Brady.
Brian, I thought you would have more to say about it. I heard you the whole time. I was like, he could go for a while on 80 for Brady.
I thought I could too, and then I hit halfway, and I'm like, man, I don't have a ton to say about 80 for Brady.
Well, let's hear it. What's your review?
Let me put it this way. You know if 80 for Brady's for you. If you're like, hey, that looks like a nothing movie for grandmas. Yeah, you're probably right. But if you got some buds and some beers and like, hey, let's watch this nothing movie for grandmas, it wasn't a bad time. That said, do you know much about the film 80 for Brady?
I know it
Which
has
I've just been saying the title over and over since.
Right. It has a who's who of, how would you describe them? Older movie star ladies.
Very accomplished.
Yes. Ladies who were movie stars in the 70s.
Yes.
Who are now older than their 70s, in their 80s to be exact.
For Brady's.
I just know that there are all these, like Jane Fonda's in it and all these famous people, and then they like Tom Brady, I guess. That's all I know.
It's so this is quote unquote based on a true story. My mom recently told me, I love it when it's based on a true. My mom thinks that if you slap based on a true story in front of it, it's basically educational.
I think most people do.
I know, right? Like,
I used to.
It's like this is basically reading a book now.
Yeah. I don't remember the specifics, but I do remember the feeling when I first found out, like, oh, the movie made that up. Being like, what the fuck? That's so fucked that they would make that up. I feel lied to.
In the film 80 for Brady, this is about these four friends. They love Tom Brady. They have a fun friendship road trip adventure to see the Super Bowl. And it's funny because they're old ladies and they're going to the Super Bowl. They lose the tickets and have all sorts of adventures on the way, you know?
Great.
The quote-unquote true story this is based on, four ladies who liked Tom Brady. They never went to the Super Bowl. They never had an adventure. They were just four ladies, and they made custom sweatshirts that they were 80 for Brady.
Great. Well, I am hoping those ladies made money off this somehow with their life rights. And
you know what? I hope so too.
See, I feel like this is one you and your brother should cover on your show.
I did text my brother, like 80 for Brady is streaming. Should we do that next? I got left on red. That's not a joke. That is my last text to my brother. It has been 2 days. It has not been responded to.
Yeah, hopefully nothing happens to either one of you, because that would be a really bummer of a last text. Good period.
Oh, man. Oh, put on either of our tombstones. Just project the left unread text. Like, should we do 80 for Brady next? I also saw the Dungeons and Dragons movie, Honor Amongst Thieves.
Oh yeah. Let's do this. Let's go.
I didn't like it. I was really primed to, right? We got a sitter. Emily's family was in town, so we just dumped the kid. We're like, yo, let's go see a movie. And we were ready to like whatever, literally whatever it was. We had a big popcorn. We got drinks. We sat in the theater. We got good seats. No one was talking like in the theater to make the experience worse. We were and about halfway through, just had that sinking feeling that like, oh, I'm not having a good time.
I'm so sorry, Brian.
It's fine. Don't get me wrong. It was so nice to get out. I love going to the movies. I got to go to the movies. But like, man, wasn't having any fun with it. Really wanted to, really tried. I love Chris Pine. Didn't like it. I don't like this. It's this Marvelization, right? And I've had a lot of friends, a lot of people I respect who were like, oh, well, at least it's so much better than any given Marvel movie. I'm like, is it? It was kind of the same to me.
It definitely felt very Marvel in a lot of ways. Yeah.
I
thought the Chris Pine factor would put you over the top. Just because he's so charming.
It should have. He's the highlight. He's the one thing that I was like, yes, very good. But every moment is punched with a fucking quip. It's the cliche now is, someone like turning and going, that just happened. Imagine if Indiana Jones, like an arrow, hits the wall and he just goes, that just happened. No one in the, it'd be one thing if the movie was just a comedy, which I think maybe is the angle they should have gone. But like, if this is a big budget adventure movie, a la, I guess I was kind of hoping for something along the lines of like Pirates of the Caribbean, at least tonally. That might be an unachievable thing that we'll never get ever again. It's when the characters who are in danger aren't even taking the danger. I hesitated the word quote unquote seriously, because then people go like, oh, I'm glad it didn't take itself seriously. That's not what I mean. I don't want it to be quote unquote more serious. I don't want it to be a bummer movie.
Right.
But I want the danger to be real. I want it to be real to the characters.
Right. You want to feel stakes.
Right. And there were, it's a lot of like.
I would certainly say I didn't really ever fear for anyone's well-being in the movie, or feel any danger or anything like that. I would agree.
Even the action beats were just, all right, now this action figure is going to go do his thing. Like, it wasn't based in anything, It was borderline just an action beat happens on the script. This guy fights for a while on the script. It was nothing. There was no tension there. And then again with the jokes, it just feels like the spoilers, I guess, for Dungeons and Dragons: Honor Amongst Thieves. I guess it's pretty minor, but there's a bit where like, uh-oh, the dragon's coming. Oh, look out, it's a dragon. Uh-oh, it's a fat dragon. And then they look at the camera and go, everyone look out for the fat dragon. And then the dragon rolls around because it's fat and it bumps over a bunch of things.
They don't literally say, they don't turn to the camera,
it's
just to be clear.
Something to that effect. It is something to the effect of look out for the fat dragon, and the fat dragon gets stuck and they're like, oh, fat dragon. And everybody just like shrugs. Morale got real low around fat dragon.
I think you should just have a YouTube show where you just reenact movies, because that was great. I think you just give a summary of a movie.
Oh, Fat Dragon. Fat Dragon was a real bummer, guy.
I liked it, but I liked it in the way that I like a good Marvel movie, which is like, generally the stakes are pretty low for me, but the witty banter, the jokes, and the charm. I did wish that they leaned into the absurdity a little more, like the scene with they dig the graves and bring the people back to life, and then they only have a certain number of questions.
That was good. That was fun.
Right? Yeah. Like, give me more of that.
Right. I'm scrolling through right now. I want to see if I can find. I was talking to my friend Chris Wolf about the movie. He hated it more than I did. But we're both big Dungeons and Dragons guys. We play together very regularly. So this is his text here. What the fuck is a sorcerer? Is that different from a wizard? What's a red mage? What's a druid? I cannot fathom being into that movie without being a D&D nerd, because I am, and I still have no idea what any of this shit means. That guy said he was like a paladin, right? Like a Jesus knight? Is he supposed to worship some kind of Jesus? His sword got gold one time. Why can't a cleric? What's a cleric? Heal you from a red mage's blade. Is it poison? Just say it's poison. So that girl has horns? Oh, she's a tiefling and her parents didn't want her. So being a tiefling is bad? What's a tiefling? Is that what lets her change into animals? Who are these foresty people she lives with that seem nice? Will we meet any of them? She doesn't care about any of them.
Well, that's very funny. But I would say, I think if they answered all those questions, that doesn't make the movie any better.
I agree. I do think it's a weird, like, I actually think, to debate that, to me, this felt like kind of gobbledygook of a bunch of Dungeons and Dragons words crammed into a script that I assume if you're not into Dungeons and Dragons just kind of went over your head and you were kind of able to just move on, you know? Which is how most people do.
Yeah, it's probably like when somebody who's never been in the military writes a script about the military and there's like military jargon. So like me watching at home, I was never in it. So I don't fucking notice if it's wrong.
Right.
But
It's not even that it was wrong. It was just so like packed in there that was like, fuck, Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Jesus, all this fucking, man, this game's stupid. But yeah, I don't have and ultimately, at the end of the day, I don't think the movie's that. It's entirely possible in 10 years I'll fucking find it on Tubi and be like, this wasn't that bad. But
Right,
man, I thought I was gonna like it more.
every once in a while, there's a movie like that where, for whatever reason, your brain is like, I'm going to make an example of this movie because this movie
I think that's kind of what it.
This movie represents a lot of what I haven't liked lately, and it's like. It's not even the worst example of it, but it's like, no, I totally get it. I do that all the time.
This movie was not everything I just said about it. This movie's not even the worst offender of those things.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
It's but just man, like, it was just rubbing me the wrong way.
I could also see if it's the only movie I get out to see. Like it was your one time to go to the movies in a long time.
We should have saw Air.
Yeah, it wasn't out yet.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't know. It was funny you had talked about it briefly last week, and you were a little tepid on it. You like landed on you liked it, but you weren't like bowled over by it. And I was sitting there going, I think I'm gonna like it more than you did.
Well, I thought so too because of the Chris Pine factor.
The Chris Pine factor saved some stuff for me. But
for the listeners, Brian texted me before he went to the movie, and he's like, I have one night to go see a movie. Here are the options. Is Dungeons and Dragons the right choice? And I was like, yes, I think it is, because Chris Pine is really charming, and I know you fucking love Chris Pine.
I do. I want to smooch his beautiful fucking face.
I don't, like, if you had seen, what were the other options? Creed 3 or
pretty weird. I don't even remember.
John Wick 4, Creed 3.
Right. Which, you know what? Had we picked something else, I would have just been wondering about Dungeons and Dragons, you know?
Yeah, right. Totally.
I would have been just curious. So I'm glad I know. It's not the end of the world that I didn't like it that much. But man, I'm kind of mad about it again. I really didn't like it. Why was Bradley Cooper a halfling? what was going on there? Why not? I guess that's it. It's funny. She big, he small.
That was a weird cameo, though.
That was weird.
I wonder if he was just on the studio lot. They're like, hey,
yeah. Was he in Game Night at all? I don't remember Game Night. I don't know if this was like.
I don't think he was. No.
Huh. I don't know then. Oh, also, I guess Emily had a point. Sorry, I'm mad about the movie now. Emily had a good point, and I think, once again, the Dungeons & Dragons is not even the worst offender of this, but any joke could have been said by any character.
Yeah, that sometimes is bothersome.
It's a Han Solo line is a Han Solo line,
right?
You know,
yeah.
There was nothing like that in this movie. It was every joke was kind of almost fourth wall breaking to me, or just trying to undercut this. Fuck! I didn't like it.
That happens once in a while in like Friends, which is obviously usually pretty right on the money with the characters. But once in a while they'll have like a smart ass line where you're like, literally any of them could have said that,
right?
Or, that should have been a Chandler line, but he's not in the scene, so they just gave it to Joey, or,
Right. I don't know. I probably have a dozen more things to say about the Dungeons and Dragons movie. I've been ranting about it for a week straight. Come join our Discord. There's a link in the description if you want to agree with me or tell me that I'm wrong. A lot of people thought it was fun. I don't think it did well box office wise, but
should we put it in the vault next to Doctor Strange? I
think I got a couple warning shots on this one. The vault feels like.
No, I meant the vault as in like having easy access to bring it out to talk about, because it's right there. You could just pull the vault.
I see, because the vault requires a whole bit that I bring out the vault.
That's true.
I have to make a beep boom noise that we still don't fully understand what it is.
We won't vault it yet. We'll keep the vault as a real punishment.
Yeah, I think that's discussion jail. I didn't really watch anything else. Don't get me wrong. I watched a lot of other shit, but nothing too interesting. I watched Marry Fuck Kill, which is a Tubi original, and at the time that I watched it, it had 0 reviews on Letterboxd.
Whoa!
Which is my personal low.
You were the first.
I was the first. And so I had to watch
possible.
it. I think it was new. I think it was a new Tubi original, and those just kind of like sneak up. So I think I caught it within a couple of days. And it's not like they're advertising these shitty like things they vacuumed up.
Right.
It was terrible. It was absolutely terrible. But I watched the whole fucking thing.
I have a Smallville related horror movie question.
Yeah.
That came to me the other night when I was watching this episode, but it's not related to this episode. Have you seen the movie Prom Night 2?
I have not seen. No, I have not seen Prom Night 2. I have not seen the original Prom Night. I have seen the 2009 remake of Prom Night, though.
But Prom Night 2, if I'm not mistaken, is the one where the spirit of the dead girl comes back and inhabits different people.
Interesting. The Prom Night that I watched, the remake, was just a murderer.
So the reason I ask is because I'm pretty sure the prom episode, which is my favorite episode of this season 4, is a knockoff of that.
Oh, interesting. Well, I guess we'll have to watch Prom Night.
Prom Night 2. Hold on. Let me make sure. Yeah. Hello, Mary Lou. Prom Night 2. Yep.
That's the name of that title. That is the name of that movie.
Yeah.
Great title for a movie.
It follows a high school student who becomes possessed by Mary Lou Maloney, a student who died at her high school prom in 1957.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah, there's a spirit possessing all the characters in Smallville, getting passed from character to character. I can't wait for this episode, Ryan.
Great.
I can't wait.
Oh, that sounds great. This episode we watched this week is not.
See, I didn't think it was notably bad.
I really just could see the sweat on the storylines. Really? Yeah, the crouching tiger scene wasn't that fucking bad.
But they threw a lot of money at this episode. Like, this is a big episode for them in season 4. I'm serious. This is like a sweeps. This feels like a sweeps episode. This is like they leave the country. There's a lot of
They went a whole street over in Vancouver. They hung some red lanterns.
yeah. They went to Chinatown or whatever the fucking Vancouver.
Okay, so we should get into it. All right, this week we watched Sacred. It's the 15th episode in the 4th season of Smallville, the 81st episode overall. It aired February 23rd, 2005. I, of course, know all of this because I'm reading directly from the Smallville wiki, smallville.fandom.com. Let's see here. Okay, getting right into it. Clark is pondering where to attend college when a messenger shows up with a package from Dr. Swan. Dr. Swan, of course, is Christopher Reeve's character, who I guess it has not been acknowledged yet diegetically that he has passed away. Not
until about 2 seconds from where we are in the Wikipedia
before he can open it, the TV news coincidentally announces that Swan has died.
So Johnny K calls them into the living room where he is watching TV by the fire. And let me tell you, Brian, this looks like the coziest, wholesomest living room in the history of television or cinema. I would love to watch TV by the fire with Johnny K. It just looks so cozy.
Someone in Vancouver just make that, because that's a real house. I doubt I'm sure the interior is a set.
The inside is not a real house, though. But
yeah, but man, rent out that Airbnb, dress it up like it, rent that out as an Airbnb. I
Just
know
hire
two
John
guys who
Schneider.
would definitely pay to do a couple episodes of their podcast. And John Schneider does have to come, not in actually as John Schneider. He has to be Johnny K.
Yeah. Yes, I don't want to hang out with John Schneider unless he's being Johnny K. That's for sure.
Right. And you know what? Actually, we don't record a podcast and then we just hang out with Johnny K on the couch under blankets, watching episodes of Friends.
Oh man,
I have dreams, Zach. I have big dreams.
I mean, I would love if I could live a fictional character's life. I don't know that I would pick Clark, but that's something to think about.
That's a pretty good one. It's a pretty
really
good one.
Really cozy house.
Swan's message says that Clark must find his father to complete his quote-unquote mission, and the package contains the octagonal key. It's an octagon. It's a very common shape.
It's an octagon.
This could be any octagon, Clark. What we're doing here from the Smallville writer's room is a very desperate trying to get some storylines fucking moving here.
Yeah, this episode feels like, I don't know if it's the case, if there was actually a hiatus or something, but it feels like the writers just came back after weeks and weeks off and are like, okay, time to figure this out.
Episode 15, that certainly makes sense, right?
Yeah, I don't know when they take a break and all that, but
actually, you know what? We can fucking find out, right? Let me go back here. Crypto was also in February, so we didn't have a break here in between these episodes.
Okay.
Even going back to Recruit was in February.
But that doesn't necessarily mean they didn't film them.
That's
apart.
true. Right. These are the air dates. You're right. Man,
Yeah,
no, we've been going pretty consistently through January. Wow.
But the point is, this is definitely we need to, they're performing mouth to mouth on this fucking storyline. Not the season, because everything else in the season is pretty A+, but this storyline is like starting to spread and drag down the rest of the show.
It's funny, after 3 episodes of this storyline just spinning its wheels, now they're like, oh no.
Yeah, now they're like,
the end is
everything
coming.
happens. Yeah,
right.
I wonder if Kristen Crook was like, I'm gonna quit the show if you don't make me a witch again real soon.
I mean, they have to. I mean, I'm more imagining it's not unlike it's the 13th when we're recording this, and it's not unlike me getting ready for tax day. I'm just like, oh no, I have how many oh fuck.
Oh fuck, when is tax day?
15th usually.
No.
I mean, that's usually what it is. We'll deal with that off the air.
I'm Googling it right now. Hold on. 18th.
Oh wow. Okay.
The next Tuesday.
But the season finale is when? No. Googling when the season finale is.
Right. Yeah. But they certainly throw a lot of money at this episode.
Yes. So Clark goes to the cave, and when he puts the key in a slot, Jor-El speaks to him. Jor-El, of course, is Terrence Stamp. We've seen that movie now. If you go back to our Superman 2 episode, he tells Clark about the 3 stones and warns him that if the humans unite them, then the world may very well be destroyed. Jor-El, how the fuck do you know about that? Huh?
Yeah.
Huh?
It would have been a lot easier to just leave a note in Clark's spaceship.
Yeah, right. Like keep those. Oh, by the way, some stones. Keep them away. Keep them away.
Yeah, you need to get these stones.
Jonathan and Clark are arguing about Jor-El, and Martha tries to remind Clark that, quote unquote, ever since he got away from his Kryptonian destiny, they got the old Clark back, and we got a couple of fun episodes. And now you're back in this horse shit, and now you got to go to China. Spoilers. Clark protests, saying that even though it is good to be normal, the truth is that he is not normal. He believes all the trials with Jor-El in the past could have been a test to prepare him for his search for the stones. Clark said something to the effect of like, Jor-El's never lied to me.
I wrote
Didn't
that
he
down.
Yeah.
I wrote that down.
I don't think that's the truth.
I thought he very specifically did lie to him as a test.
Right?
Isn't that
right?
Wasn't that the whole like, Clark, you need to be a fascist dictator?
Right.
Like that was how they wrote that off. Was this was a test?
Yeah, right. Rewind. Maybe we're not going to go that way.
Yeah.
Clark
Jason also claimed that he played football without his powers, so he's just got a selective memory.
The L family is a little liberal on the lying. Jason calls Lana and tells her he's overseeing a project for Lex in Metropolis, but Lana is suspicious of where he really is when she hears an Asian dialect being spoken in the background, and becomes even more suspicious when Jason tells her good night when it is clearly day in Kansas. Busted.
He said he's talking on the phone, and then she says, that doesn't sound like Kansas. And he says, it's Metropolis. So Metropolis isn't in Kansas.
Whoa.
But it is on the Mississippi River. As we established previously. Hold on.
Though, wait, though, could it be? And I guess I wasn't paying that much attention. My daughter has reached a new octave of screaming, which is fun and cool. That was a fun new thing that happened today. Just like she's really realizing that like the screaming we've kind of learned to be like, all right, this maybe isn't an emergency. Like, I'll get there when I get there, kid. Now it's if I go louder, they come quicker. And that's been cool, great, very cash money.
Does the Mississippi even go through Kansas?
I don't know. But so couldn't the line have been, that doesn't sound like Kansas. Could the line have been like, I'm in Metropolis, which is in Kansas?
Right.
That could have been the line, right?
They didn't say that, but that could have been. It doesn't even look like the Mississippi's in Kansas. So I don't know geography, but I can tell you that
we know Smallville, not geography.
Neither do the people who wrote this show, or they just don't care, which I think is probably it. So if it's not Kansas, Metropolis is located in either Nebraska, Oklahoma, Missouri, or Colorado.
I want to go back to the tape on that line. I'm going back to the tape. I think he was not agreeing that he was not in Kansas.
Oh, you're saying he just said Metropolis to like specify?
Yes. I think it's essentially.
I guess we can write it off. We can say that was.
I'm going to the
what
tape.
They were going for.
Jason hangs up with Lana and is immediately called by Lex, who reveals that he is standing right behind him and that he has followed Jason because he knows that Lionel gave him a map that leads to one of the 3 stones. God, this is convoluted.
I almost thought, like, I wonder if they shot Lionel's one scene that they tacked on last week where he gave him the map. I wonder if they shot that when they shot this episode and we're like, let's put that back here. Let's plant the seeds.
You are probably right. Lex has a line here about how, like, you can't expect to work for me and not have me, like, basically invade every aspect of your life.
Yeah. And also have giant pictures of you in my secret room. Oh, wait, no, I don't do that. I don't do that anymore.
I have a giant picture of my best friend who was a high schooler. You think I don't fucking know where you don't think I have a GPS tracker on you? You think I have any fucking boundaries?
I didn't just have people follow you. I followed you across the world.
I saw on your little GPS tracker that you were heading towards Shanghai, and I went, cancel my plans. I'm following Jason Teague. Gas up the plane.
Or did Jason just get to Shanghai and just kind of chill in the hotel room for a couple days, and Lex had time to catch up to him?
Yeah. I hope so, for Lex's sake. Okay, so Lana goes to the Luthor mansion and meets with Lionel, who informs her that Jason and Lex are actually in China looking for one of the stones. What are the stones again? I know they're the MacGuffins.
They don't know.
No one knows. Okay.
Don't they call them the stones of knowledge or something? Or the stones of...
So they're just fucking MacGuffins, and we don't even know what they are? Great.
No, I mean, I
cool.
know what they are, but...
chill.
Whoever gets them first will have great power, obviously.
Dragon Balls. Got it. He then tells her that they have been seriously investigating Lana's long-dead relative Isobel, whose arch-rival was a duchess by the name of Gertrude, from whom Jason's family was directly descended. Oh my fucking god. Why didn't they just make it like an evil alien? You know, like generally has been the conceit of the show so far.
Because Clark is not immune to witchcraft.
Right, of course. Gertrude was obsessed with finding the 3 mythical stones and sent many ships to scour the globe, but they all failed to find even one of the stones. The only clue about the stones that they were able to find was a map of a temple in China, which Isobel promptly stole before it could reach Gertrude. Because of Isobel's theft, Gertrude had her executed by burning her at the stake as a witch. Lana is upset that Jason lied to her and that he and Lex are working together behind her back. So she decides to go to China to confront. You couldn't just wait till they came fucking back. You are a minor. Where are you getting the money for this?
Wait, she's 18, Brian. They've made it really clear that she's 18 years old.
That's true.
And she runs a business, okay? The talent rakes in dough.
She sold it, I thought.
Oh, yeah, that's right. But she lives there.
That's true.
So I forgot my train. Oh, wait, I was going to say, so this map got introduced in like episode 3 of this season.
Right.
And pretty much nothing has happened in this storyline since. This is 10 episodes of wheel spinning, and now they're like, okay, let's go find what's on this map.
Now let's have everything happen.
Like, what happened between the map episode and this episode was like, Jason's mom came in, and we learned that she's also
Jesus
involved.
Christ.
That's it.
That's Christ. Clark goes to visit Lana, and after she tells him about Jason and Lex, they both go off to China, parentheses here, without Clark telling his parents.
You know what? He's Superman. He can go wherever the fuck he wants in an instant.
He can go wherever the fuck he wants. When's the last time we saw Clark and Lana together?
That's another reason this is like a regroup episode. This is let's get ready for the final stretch. Every year we do this. In the final stretch, let's start pushing Lana and Clark back together so it can seem like they're going to get together, and then we have a cliffhanger.
Right. Oh, it's so funny how like, oh right, this is the same show. Like,
yes,
I haven't been concurrently watching 2 different shows, one of which is bad.
In this season, more than any, that everyone like Lex and Lana have been isolated from Clark more than any other season.
Right.
In large part because of this terrible storyline, and also because Lois got introduced, and
right.
So it's a new fun character for Clark to play with instead of the same old shit.
And so Lana has to go to China.
While they're on the plane and like rebonding, Lana says to Clark, it's funny, or it's ironic that two people I ended up trusting are Lionel Luthor and Clark Kent. If I was Clark, I'd be like, let's not lump me in with Lionel fucking Luthor, the murderer. Lionel's a murderer. I've saved your life like 100 times.
Yeah.
Cool it.
I've known you since we were children.
Right. I know I've been a little gaslighty about some secrets, but don't compare me to Lionel Luthor, please.
You see my mom every day because she works in your house. In Shanghai, the local police chase Lex and Jason, who end up getting arrested when they are cornered in an alley. Jason and Lex are tossed into a cell underneath the very temple that the map depicts, and Lex is dragged away by the guards, leaving Jason alone. Meanwhile, Clark and Lana arrive in Shanghai, where they meet up with Lionel's contact, Professor Sen, who then leads them to the temple using a copy of the map given to them by Lionel. Lex is thrown into the back of the cell when Jason is hauled away to be interrogated. Lex tells him to just give up the information and save himself. Once Jason is gone, Lex turns to the guard and reminds him not to harm Jason when they interrogate him for information, revealing that Lex had originally set up the arrest.
Lex, you bastard. Boy. So he knew he was going. He knew enough in advance to set up a fake
right
arrest. The guard is played by that same guy who played one of the robbers in the season 2 episode Insurgents.
I saw that in the notes below on the wiki. You just caught that on your own, huh?
Yes, I caught it because he was one of the people I put in my in memoriam slideshow for season 2 that I created back when we used to do a visual version of this show.
Okay, so however, the leader of the soldiers tells Lex that he cannot ensure the safety of either of them because someone else paid him quite a lot more money for information that both Lex and Jason know, and this someone has no qualms about using torture to get the information. Clark, Lana, and Professor Sen arrive at the temple, and Clark spots a secret chamber behind a wall using his X-ray vision. He has them leave the room to search elsewhere and then uses his super strength to roll back a wall and enter the chamber. I loved this scene of like, Clark, do you see anything? No. Also, you guys go into a different room. I'll keep looking in this one.
Yeah, don't worry about it. It's fine. It's fine. I'm just going to keep looking here.
Just go. Get out of the room. Nothing. Close the door.
And you're staring really hard at that wall. Like, if you didn't know he had superpowers, you'd be like, this dude zones out constantly and just stares at walls.
Just weirdly squints.
Yeah.
And then it's like, you got go check out a different room.
Yeah, you would think like, did he shit his pants? Like, is that what happened?
I think Clark, if he really wanted to like try to buy himself some time, could maybe really sit Lana down. Like, it's time I tell you some things. My IBS is fucking
exactly.
wild.
Yeah, sometimes I just need you to leave, and it's because I'm farting really bad.
He finds a ceremonial dress, a mask, and a dragon statue with green kryptonite eyes, which cause Clark to fall to the floor as he is weakened by kryptonite.
Where the hell did that kryptonite come from?
Yeah, right? Huh? Though,
like,
I guess Jor-El's been to Earth before, right? So, like, right, it's possible some shit came by.
Is it kryptonite radioactive pieces of the homeworld? Like,
Fuck, you right, dude.
Why did Jor-El bring that with him. I don't know.
It's in the radioactions from the explosion. You're right, dude. That don't make no fucking sense.
There we go. Unless someone at that museum special ordered it from Smallville to add to the just for decoration, just by coincidence.
Right. Yeah, fuck, dude. Got him.
We did it. We took him down. We finally poked a hole that they can't fill.
Soldiers immediately burst into the temple, killing Professor Sen, but when one of them sees Lana's tattoo, they capture her instead of killing her. Meanwhile,
lower back
the soldier
tattoo is what that's called.
Yes, of course. Meanwhile, the soldiers have been torturing Jason and Lex, but so far they have been unwilling to divulge anything. So they bring in Lana and start shocking her in hopes that either Jason or Lex will give in to save her. However, much to the shock of the guards, the pain unleashes Isobel, because that's how that works now, who electrocutes them and breaks free. She's like the Hulk. She mocks Jason and Lex for being so headstrong in their pursuit of the stones and tells them that they were looking at the map the wrong way. The soldiers return to the chamber and take the weakened Clark prisoner. But when they get him away from the kryptonite eyes of the statue, he regains his strength and breaks free, sending the soldiers flying to opposite walls of the room. When Clark goes to... Yes.
There's two of them, right? Two soldiers? I think we can count that as two concussions.
Oh,
we can count that as two concussions, right?
100%.
Yeah.
Beautiful. It's been a little while.
We're about to get a... That song has to be on a Smallville episode.
It's gotta be. We're a little... 2005, we're a little past it. It definitely that song's been out for a while. It's not new. I'm kind of shocked it hasn't been used already.
Maybe it was used on a different show at the same time, and they were like, we can't use that.
It was certainly used in the WBCW at some point.
What a song.
When Clark goes to rescue Jason and Lex, Isobel knocks him out and goes back to the chamber where the dress, mask, and statue are. Yes, Zachary.
Clark concussion. The rare Clark concussion.
Whoa. You were right. Oh, man, we need a special thing.
Yeah.
Just like a gong.
Well, unless you're our one Patreon, then you won't know if I'm lying when I say balloons just fell from the ceiling.
Yeah.
And I actually made a cake here.
Yep. Wow. Look at the detailed work on the frosting there. Zach, that is gorgeous.
Let me light it. There we go, with a match. All right.
And
should I blow it out, or who? How does that work?
You have to make a Smallville related wish.
Okay. Season 11. All right.
Sorry, I forgot to sing the traditional song, but it's okay. It's not required. Happy Clark concussion to you. Happy Clark concussion to you. Happy Clark concussion to you, dear Zachary. Happy Clark concussion to you.
And many more until season 24.
What a day. What a celebration. Wow. Wow. Don't tell anyone the wish, of course, because then it won't come true.
Oh, yeah.
So Clark wakes up, frees Lex and Jason, and then takes them to the hidden chamber. Upon seeing the statue, so Clark brings Lex and Jason to the statue, and he's like, "Oh, look at this!" And Lex is like, "Don't you want to come over here and look at it?" Like, bitch, I showed it to you.
Oh, there's also a great moment where Lex goes, "How the hell did you find this? My dad had this place scoured." And it's like, you just stumbled across it? And Clark goes, "What do you want me to say, Lex?" And then they just drop it. That's it.
And they just drop it. Yeah. Once again, the IBS thing is like, I
getting-
came in here for farting. And then my farts open the door.
Clark's gaslighting is getting lazy. He's like, what do you want me to say? I don't know. Some lie. Pretend I came up with a convincing lie, okay?
Bah.
But Lex doesn't even call him on it. What do you want me to say, Lex? And then he drops it.
Yeah. What about that big picture you had of a high school boy? In that, moving on.
That's true. If I was with Clark, I would use that as a trump card all the time.
Yeah. Yeah, I found out near that big room you had of me.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
Like,
no, got it.
How'd you find this, Clark? I don't know, but it's weird that there's not a giant picture of me in here, too. Because I feel like the last secret room I found had a giant picture of me.
Do you remember that big fucking picture? High school boy, professionally taken.
Would have been a real awkward conversation with the people at the frame store.
Whole aesthetically designed around it too. People were consulted over this.
They signed NDAs for sure.
Just some Smallville handyman who can't talk about what the fuck they saw in there.
We should talk about the picture more often. I always enjoy talking about that
miss
picture.
Talking about it's a rabbit hole I truly never get sick of. Upon seeing the statue, Jason figures out that the map is actually a drawing of the tree where the stone is buried. Isobel is already there and unearths a horse statue holding the stone. When she breaks the statue to remove it, the stone gives off a noise in Clark's head, so he super speeds to where she is and takes the stone from her hand. And then stops right there. He doesn't, keep going or run across the ocean back home. He just he stops, he grabs the stone, is like, I got it.
It's so bad. Well, he takes it from her and then he stands there kind of looking at it like, oh, look at that. Like, he took it from her, so he stole it.
You're right. Do that for fucking Hong Kong, guy who can run fast.
And then he stopped 2 feet from her and then looked at it like, oh, I got this.
The lady who's wrecked his shit a couple of times.
Yes. So they do this transition from when Jason says, oh, it's a tree, it's under the tree or whatever.
Right.
They do a transition shot, a fade to the actual tree from the map, which would have been a cool fade, except for the tree does not match, really.
No, not at all.
Like, you couldn't have built a fake tree to match for your one shot.
Or built the map from the tree you had.
Because Brian, they weren't planning that far ahead.
You are correct.
Did they even know that was a tree when they made the map? They thought it was a river.
If we asked Talkville that, do you think they'd tell us honestly?
Oh, that's a good one.
I don't know how inside baseball they get.
They do. Well, when they talk, they communicate with the writers, and sometimes they get inside baseball stuff.
Got it. That's the stuff I want to know. Did you fucking know? Because I guess sometimes that can be perceived as like talking shit, but no, I think it's interesting just to hear oh, we didn't fucking know.
Right. Totally. Yeah.
Oh, we were scrambling. We were sweating. We thought maybe something was going to work out. It didn't.
Sure. Yeah.
I think that stuff's fun to know.
Mm-hmm.
When she breaks this down, okay, Clark's a fucking dummy. Isobel knocks him away, earned, and puts the stone in her pocket before rushing back to the temple. Clark confronts her again, and Isobel fights him with weapons that she charged with magic, capable of wounding him. It is a full Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon was years ago. I think.
Yeah.
And we get a full Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, wushu martial arts.
I'm pretty sure.
But very slow motion.
I'm pretty sure that Algo and Miles Miller.
Yeah, Millar, I believe.
I'm pretty sure they're known as experts in Chinese culture because they
Definitely, of
wrote
course.
for Lethal Weapon 4, Shanghai Noon, Shanghai Nights. No, really, I think that's like something that they're passionate about, and so that explains why it's
Interesting.
shoehorned in like randomly into a
Yeah, it did
Smallville
feel like,
episode.
why did we go to China in this episode?
Yeah.
Interesting.
So
It's I guess they, I mean, and like this aesthetic here, this martial arts aesthetic was hot at the time. Or at least like just post hot, but it is it's the choreography here, I would say, is simple in a way that's charming.
sure. This used to be a thing more often than now, where if there was a hit movie,
Yes.
like 4 years later, they would they would knock it off on TV.
Yes.
You know, like it would, like they would have knocked it off sooner, but they didn't have the technology to do it like anywhere near.
Okay, so Clark confronts her again, and Isobel fights him with weapons that she charged with magic, capable of wounding him. Clark gets the stone away from her, but when they both reach to pick it up, they are blasted by Isobel's magic. The blast causes Lana to reemerge, but the stone has disappeared. Now I texted this to you. Lana has now been possessed by an evil witch 2 times, and everyone, just want to say, largely seems fine with this.
Yeah.
Not freaking out. Even Lana's just like, yeah, oh yeah, that's the thing that happens to me sometimes. Clark, I think it's okay to point out you move fast. I think it's okay to tell her.
Yeah. You could give her some pieces, you know what I mean? So she knows that
You don't have to
I've
be
been keeping. You don't have to tell her you're an alien.
You don't have to bring up like, oh yeah, my spaceship, maybe like, he's on fire, NBA jammed your parents. But because I know that's the thing. Just don't even bring that part up. You're lying about all of it. You can't just maybe he can't lie about half of it.
I don't understand. They had the stone. They both get knocked back, and then Jason runs up and the stone's gone, and they're like, oh my god, the stone's gone. So they just leave. It's not clear that one of the 4 people took it.
I guess we'll never know.
Where do they think the stone went? Do they think it was destroyed?
This is some real
maybe
Smallville medical math here.
do they think it was destroyed? Maybe is that
maybe. God, I hope so.
Stone's gone. Well, let's go back to Smallville. We flew. Like, don't you think they look for a few minutes? Like,
yeah,
check under the carpet.
Gotta hop on our economy class flight back to Kansas. Got 4 seats together.
You would at least do that, right? Everyone, pull your pockets out. Let's make sure none of us.
Everyone, hang the fuck up. We're not leaving this room. The person with it, bare minimum, should be acting more suspicious to throw suspicion off of them.
Yeah. Well, how do I know you didn't take it?
Yeah. Jesus Christ. Back in Smallville, Clark and Lana talk about their experiences in Shanghai and how much their search for the stones have changed them both. Lex has a conversation with Lionel, who claims ignorance about the soldiers who tortured him, but warns Lex that finding the stones won't ultimately help him gain peace and may not give him the answers that he is looking for. Jason tries to reconcile with Lana, who feels betrayed by his lack of trust in her. So Jason reveals that he took the stone for Lana because of how important she is to him. Reluctantly, Clark has to tell his parents that he didn't recover the stone, but he also tells them that Dr. Swan sent him one last email before he died. In the email,
I think they moved scenes around because. Sorry, I thought you were done. That's why I jumped in.
No, go ahead.
Because the scene with Clark and Lana happens before the scene with Clark and his parents. And in the scene with Clark and Lana, he's talking about, his parents are upset at him because he went to China or whatever. And then in the scene with his parents, he's walking in the house with a duffel bag, not like a school backpack, like a duffel bag, like he just got home from the airport. And his parents are waiting for him.
Probably.
And they're like, "Oh, how was your trip to China?" So
you're probably right.
That had to have been, I was like, why does he have the duffel bag? He's coming in here. A little confusing.
Funny. You're probably right. In the email, Dr. Swan told Clark that he asked his associate, Dr. Crosby, to give Clark the stone that he had recovered from Lionel Luther, but now Crosby has disappeared entirely, along with the stone she had in her possession. Clark goes to the Kawachi Caves and stares at the crystal of fire still sitting in the slot. As he stands in front of the pedestal, Clark remembers Dr. Virgil Swan's last words before his death. Kal-El, you must write your own destiny. They did not dedicate this episode to Christopher Reeve, which is probably a good move. I think they did previously.
They did previously, yeah. They think the one right after he passed, they dedicated to him.
Right. He died several months ago.
Or maybe it was,
or at least
maybe he had passed before the last one he was in aired, I think. So maybe that's it.
Right. Yes. Let's see. Looking at just anything interesting here. The only music we have here is Hold On from Newcomer's Home. I don't remember where that could have been. Let's see. Sorry, did you say something?
I was going to say, I have an interesting thought. We were talking about Talkville. I thought of this.
Yeah.
Since we're ahead of the show Talkville, we'll never know. But do you think the wikis for those seasons that they've done have a lot more tidbits from Talkville in them now?
Oh, almost definitely.
And we're not getting that stuff. We have to go around again after. We have to go around again.
We have to go around one more time.
Because our show is basically like asking all these questions that they're probably answering. So we're just like, I wonder about this, and this.
Yeah, right.
And then they're going to answer it eventually.
Bare minimum, we have to go around one more time.
We're the appetizer for Talkville. So listen to us, and then they'll answer the questions.
Yeah, right?
I can't wait till they get to the giant picture. They better have some things to say about the giant picture of Clark.
I hope Talkville also, like, just constantly for a full year afterwards are still like, that fucking picture.
Yeah.
Here's something funny. Isobel / Lana's magic functions normally in this episode, despite it being established in spell that she could not work her magic without her spell book.
Oh no.
Oops.
It's evolved.
Yeah, there you go. She got
it's
better.
It's because she got shocked. It was a whole different thing.
Right, of course. Yeah, that makes sense.
And there was kryptonite.
Yeah. Get ready for this one. You know how much the wiki loves to stretch, right?
Yes.
So get ready
limber.
for this
one. The wiki
one.
is very limber.
When Isobel picks up the stone, the Kryptonian symbol for air is very reminiscent of the House of L symbol, the classic Superman S. When holding it with the red cloth, it almost looks like Superman. Whether this was intended is unknown. Wiki. You got to be able to, like, infer some stuff here. Wiki. Buddy.
Brian, it's unknown. No one knows. Who will ever know? How can we ever know?
Well, maybe Talkville will know. So we'll know when we go around again. This is the first episode in which Lionel interacts with Lana while in his own body. However, he had a conversation with her in Clark's body in transference.
Wait, so that means it's the first John Glover scene with Kristen Crook?
I believe so, yes.
Wow.
Wow.
That's a
pretty
long time.
unceremonious.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Wow, 4 seasons. Jesus. Let's see here. There was something interesting I thought here. There's no Chloe in this episode. That will not happen again until season 10.
Oh, when she's off the show.
Right. Man, she's in this show a lot.
Yeah. From here on out.
Was she not in an episode previously? Is this the only episode she's not in while she's a main cast member of the show?
I bet there were a few.
There must have been, right?
Yeah, I think there was one.
She wasn't
two.
wholly as relevant as she was like in season 2 when they were still trying to figure out what to do with Pete.
Yeah, exactly. Pete and her used to split time, and now it's all her.
Right. I guess that's everything. Sacred, not one of my favorites, gotta say. It's a fun. It was. I thought
it was a shot in the arm after some of because the last few have been kind of.
That's true. Sure.
And I don't think this was good, but it was different. They went to Shanghai.
It was some action.
Yeah. And we got Lionel back, baby. And I know we
got Lionel back, baby.
We're just sprinkling a little Lionel spice in.
Well, I guess it's about it for us. This has been the Talon Mix. Hey, we have a link in our podcast description. That is a link to our Patreon, which do not feel obligated, but if you are inclined to help support the show, we really appreciate it. We have some bonus stuff available there. And there's also a link to our Discord. That's the best place to say, hey, sometimes people post silly Smallville stuff or talk about other things. That's the best place to say, hi, I like the show, or I don't like the show, which would be mean to say. That'd be mean. That'd be really mean.
Or you could say, I don't like Dungeons & Dragons Honor Among Thieves.
Or that you did, and then we can talk about that too.
Yeah, and then
really, we can talk about anything on the
Discord. Go at
it. Zach, do you have a question for the Smallville gods?
No. Oh, gosh.
He looks very pensive.
It's tough because I know a lot of the answers of what's about to happen in the show. Okay, if you met Jensen Ackles today, do you think he would have a hard time explaining to you the plot line from this season of Smallville?
Good night, everybody.